Hello everyone, Shane Bluford here again. Now today I'm going to talk to you about how to turn people who say no into profit. Now if you ever had a prospect that said no, in this video I'm going to show you, why that happens and how to avoid it. Now the first thing you need to understand is that every single action, every single decision that a person makes, is based off one thing: the desire to avoid pain or acquire pleasure. And this is very important for you and myself as networkers to know, because it allows us to do our job better, which is to market and promote. It allows us to do this more effectively. When our prospect says no, it's because the perceived pleasure, they would gain from starting a new business is overweighed by the pain of the startup cost, or moving outside of their comfort zone. You know, you can get them over on the perceived pain, by pumping up their emotional states in a positive way. You know, like for example, you chose the car you're driving because it's nice, and because of the way it makes you feel, or because it didn't cost too much and you were just happy that you saved a lot of money, or you you avoided the pain of having to spend too much money. You bought into your business because it gives you a feeling of hope that you could achieve more, or that is going to eventually, help you avoid the pain of having to go to a job that you really don't like. So if you want to get fewer no's and more yeses when you prospect, then you need to realize that buying into a business, or a dream, is based on emotion. So how is buying into a business going to make them feel better? How is it going to help them avoid pain? Once you've communicated the benefits that can come from your business, then you need to help them justify their decision with logic, which is what all of us do. You bought into your business because of how it'll make you feel if you tripled your income, but you justify the decision, to get started, that it's a ground floor opportunity with an experienced management team, or something like that. But you got to be careful, because getting started has to be their idea, not yours. you know if you want to get prospects to become distributors, then you have to make sure it's their idea, because someone that has time to actually digest their decision, they become more committed, and they'll end up being in it for the long run, which is what you want in a team member. The best way to allow someone to sell themselves is to promote to them, like, over time. Everybody is different. It takes some people a few days, to sell themselves. Some a few weeks, some even a few months. But you want it to be on their timetable. You want to get rid of the pressure tactics, and that's how you'll start sponsoring higher quality prospects. Most people are lazy. They purchase hope. They're under this impression that they can that success can come from outside of themselves. But if you don't come to the table with this knowledge, then you'll just be draining your bank account, which is something you don't want to do. But there is a way that you could take advantage of this and turn it into profit. But this is something that you got to do anyway. It's a must that you do it, because this is what most business owners are faced with. And by to do that, it's called profitability. you know and 9 out of 10 home business owners, they'll end up spending more money than they make. And they'll it's a good chance that's probably you right now. But don't feel bad, because I went through the same thing. Everybody start from the bottom. And you need somebody to help you and guide you the right way to build you up. And it takes a while for that to happen unless you're out there searching for the right things like you're doing right now. You know, so that's like some type of rites of passage when it comes to our industry. It just happens. So don't feel bad if that's happening to you. So that's the end of this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you, you know, how to actually make the profit when it comes to that. So go ahead and check out my MySpace page. It's myspace.com/BLU17. Also check out my Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter as well, as I'll be, you know, giving out updates and letting people know what I'm doing as far as with these videos and everything like that. And also check out my social network. You know, feel free to go ahead and join there and go ahead and network with all the other networkers as well. So that's it for today, and I'll see you guys on the next video.